Hello, and it's time for Tournament and a TeaBreak on day 3.
Bonjour.
Chris is
Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. What?
I'm
not quite
wrong.
sure.
Actually,
I'm not quite
bonsoir is good evening, and my understanding is bonsoir means have a good night.
Yes. And then when you're really going to bed, it's bonne nuit.
I don't think so.
It is, yeah.
My mum and dad, my mum always used to answer the phone with "Hello, bonsoir."
I know, but when it's time for bed.
When it's time for bed, it says, "Get up to bed now."
Okay.
Okay. But I digress. Day 3 has been quite busy. We've seen the end of round 1, or it's still going really, but we're finally through, and we've actually gotten through with most of the weather, I think, being relatively intact. It was a bit murky today. What do we think? Are we done? We're just going to check.
It was, to answer your question, it was a little gray. It was one of those typical Roland Garros chilly, breezy days that I rather enjoyed a little bit. It was sometimes raining and not quite enough to get the players off the courts, and then for a spell they were off the courts.
Yeah. Well, they were on some courts, but not all. But I think there's a couple of matches still going on.
2 matches live at the moment. Gael Monfils up a couple sets on Taro Daniel. Monfils looking pretty good here.
Yeah. Jem's life suits him.
And then Manarino and Stefano Travaglia are still going at it on Simone Mathieu. That one's in the 5th. Some more French drama over there.
But anyway, let's go back to our drama. We almost had a bit of drama actually with Naomi Osaka really struggling in that first set.
Sure.
She.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be gracious.
Well, I mean, we just talked to her in press, and she said she was as nervous as she has ever been for a tennis match.
Yeah.
And that was surprising. For a while, I was trying to figure out what is actually wrong with her today. Like, why is it happening? Is there an injury issue? Is it something? And I guess it was just nerves.
Well, my first thought was it was a recurrence of the thumb problem, and that she was really struggling to be able to get some timing on the ball and some heat on the ball. I mean, the reasons that she came up with when somebody sort of pushed her for the reasons were all pretty logical. She's a 2-time Slam champion coming into the 3rd. She's the world number 1, first time that she's actually come into a Slam as the world number 1.
Yep.
So,
she had a list of logical reasons.
Yeah, they were
which
actually
was quite
very
incredible,
logical.
Actually, that was the most entertaining
I'm finding
part
she's
of press.
much improved in press, actually.
I love her in press.
She's so self-deprecating, and I think it's refreshing. I did wonder when she won Indian Wells whether that would get knocked out of her by the old cynics in the press room, especially at slams where you have sometimes press people that don't necessarily follow the tennis tour all year round. They have a different kind of jaded than we do. We have a jaded, oh my God, if we have to see one more 5-setter at night, 7 o'clock in the evening, we're going to kill people. They have a cold jaded thing of being made to come to Wimbledon for 2 weeks.
It gets old, right?
Yeah.
It gets old, shuffled into press after every single match, and especially with Osaka, those are not short or easy pressers. There's 50 people in that room. It's crowded.
I hate to say it, but I mean there were more people in Naomi's presser today than there were in Serena's.
Well, she's the one with 2 straight Grand Slams.
Yeah. But if anybody wants a changing of the guard narrative, I think we're beginning to see it.
Yeah, well, you know what? They matched each other in their first round matches, which was pretty interesting, with both of them having just a horrible opening set and both of them finding somehow summoning what they needed to get through their matches. It took Osaka a little bit longer, obviously, today, where Schmidlova had to serve for the match twice, and that was very tense times.
That's going to be a hard one to get over.
Oh, man.
But on the flip side of the coin, we had another former champion, Yelena Ostapenko, against Victoria Azarenka, and that was an intriguing matchup. I think I'm right in saying both times Ostapenko went up a break, and then Azarenka had to fight her way back. Certainly in the first set, there were lots of breaks to serve, and they were kind of edging each other out and seeing who's got the will. But you know what, for me it's great to see Azarenka happy, because I saw we touched on this the other day. I saw her in tears in Australia, where it was nothing is working, nothing's going right, and to see it all beginning to come together after everything that she's gone through is actually now beginning to feel to give you the feels. I mean, what do you think?
How long have we been waiting for this? I can't tell you how many times I've written about Azarenka in the last probably year. Like, here she comes. It's coming now, and because I fully expected it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that she was winning the Sunshine Double, and just like, and of course we all remember how dominant she was in her heyday. It's like, I feel like it's bound to come, and it's been so difficult, such a difficult path for her that she's taken. It hasn't been easy. She's actually played better of late and just hasn't been getting the results, but like, she does have a few top 10 wins, which she mentioned, and I think, Azarenka Osaka, that is the match of the second round.
Most definitely. I can't think of a match that I'll like tread over you to get to watch.
Yeah, but getting back to Vika, I'm just always pulling for her. I think she's just a class act.
Yeah.
I love everything about her story. She's an inspiration. She's a lot of positive energy, and I think she's been working for it. She's been fighting for it, and you like to see players like that be rewarded.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think that match with Osaka is pretty wide open. Neither of them are like clay queens, so I think it's kind of up for grabs.
Okay, so lead me down the track. What's next on your list? I decided to put Chris in charge.
You're looking at Captain Chris here. Well, I wanted to chat a little bit about two of the more big names on the men's side that were in action today. Juan Martín del Potro.
Yeah, you saw that.
4-set win over Nicolas Jarry. Was down a set because he gave up an early break, but performed really well on Suzanne Lenglen. Just an overall very solid performance, very efficient. It was kind of big man tennis out there. I think he was a little over 2 hours, didn't waste any energy, no muss, no fuss. He looks to be headed, I think, for at least the quarterfinals. He looks good. Okay,
that's brilliant to hear, because people have been wondering whether we're going to see him back to any kind of
He looks
best.
Really good. I mean, it's only his 8th match of the season, and the other person we should talk about is Sasha Zverev.
Oof.
You can take the reins on this one.
Well, that was there's so much I want to say about Sasha. I think last year it was immensely frustrating to watch him do so many 5-setters, and then of course he was spent by the time he got to the quarterfinal with Team. But I'm more intrigued about the situation with Lendl. Somebody asked him in German, and I'm going to go back and see if it's been translated into English. But the first question in German was about Lendl. But he didn't look annoyed when he was answering. He looked like he was giving an answer probably related to bee pollen and being allergic to bee pollen, and therefore can't come to Europe, apparently. But he's got to be happy about that win. But the fact that Millman is a tricky customer, and he can make the best sweat as he did with Federer. So, hopefully. Well, I mean, who's he got next now then?
He's got Mikael Mur of Sweden.
He's got Ymer.
Ymer,
yeah.
Sorry from this person. Ymer won that match over Blaswell.
Yeah.
So it's a nice draw for Sasha Zverev, actually, and it looks like he won't face the seed he could face in that third round is Dusan Lajovic. So, I mean, if he plays well and doesn't really kind of blow it, you figure he's got to be in the second week. And then Fognini's in his section. I mean, even if he doesn't play his best, he could potentially make the quarterfinals. But I don't know. The fact that he went 5 hours and played the longest match of the first round at 4 hours and 8 minutes, it just reminds you of what he did last year.
Yeah.
And what did we do last year? We beat him up because he played 3 consecutive 5-setters when he probably didn't have to if he had been a little more efficient out there. And it ended up hurting him because that's when he lost the dominant team.
Absolutely. And what else caught your eye?
Wow, I really am the captain.
You are? Okay,
well,
Captain Chris.
I just thought we'd mention some of the great matchups that are coming up in the second round. They might not all be tomorrow, but I've got that little list. And, of course, we mentioned Azarenka and Osaka. I like Bianca Andreescu and Sofia Kenin. You were noticing Potapova and Von Drusova.
Oh, I can't wait
one.
for that one. That's just going to be free-hitting teens.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a big story no matter who wins that match. But Potapova in particular, I mean, coming off her first top 10 win, she's got a lot of positive emotions and energy right now. So I expect that to be a pretty decent match. Men's side, Christian Garin and Stan Wawrinka.
You're a huge Garin fan, aren't you?
Well, he's 20 clay court wins this season.
Yeah.
He's really a vastly improved player, former junior champion here, but that was 6 years ago, and he really hasn't done much between then and now. And
it really hasn't
he is.
translated.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
What else? Nishikori Sangha.
The atmosphere for that will be amazing because the French do love themselves a bit of Sangha.
Yeah, rematch of their 2015 Roland Garros quarterfinal. won by Joe Wilford, who then lost to Stan, who then crushed Nole in the final.
Yep.
That was a special year. Per and Hugues Herbert will be a great all-French battle.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
There are some great
I'm
matchups.
actually going to pretend to be French and just sit there and be like, oh la la, at regular intervals.
I'll join you. I'll join you. And if I may continue leading this podcast,
By all
we can
means.
talk about Feliciano Lopez and Ivo Karlovic playing the oldest combined match in age at the Grand Slam since 1977, the oldest ever at Roland Garros. Karlovic wins in 4 sets.
Yeah, that man's never going to stop, is he?
What if he plays here when he's 50? And could he? Could he keep
Well,
winning matches with that serve?
Well, I mean, the only if his arm breaks down, that's going to be the only issue. But yeah, that's amazing. And it's kind of nice they have their moment as well.
Yeah, very cool for them.
So, what have we got to look forward to tomorrow?
Why don't you tell me?
Okay, my turn then. Okay, so jump out. So we talked about Tsonga. What else have we got? Oh, there's Alina. Let's see if the missus can do the job.
Yes, Svitolina's playing Katerina Kozlova, which is a winnable match, and then you have Garbiñe Muguruza out on the bull ring against Johanna Larsson. Those two are going to meet in the third round, so that's why I'll be watching those two, because I really want to see that as a third round matchup.
You know, I've got a feeling that Muguruza is going to go really deep.
She's got the right attitude.
She really does. She really does. And then we've got Nadal in action. So does that mean we've got Djokovic in action as well somewhere? Oh, we've got Federer.
Federer has Oscar Ott from Germany, a gentleman who's played 1 Grand Slam match before. You think Federer will be able to get through that?
Oh, I don't know. You know, it's going to be quite tricky. It's going to be quite tricky for him. And we're still in this kind of strange nonsense where they haven't quite caught the draws up yet. Yes, they are still in this strange kind of nonsense.
Is it? It's more confusion, huh?
Yeah. It's a bit weird. I mean, that's the thing with this whole 3-day start for the first round, because you don't, you expect the second round to be one section of the draw, like the top half and the bottom half of the women's or something.
Right.
And it doesn't seem to be that way. But what about your man Tsitsipas?
Where's Stefanos?
He's in Saint Mathieu.
Well, Hugo Dellion's a great story. The Bolivian he's the first Bolivian to win a slam match in 35 years. Talked to him the other day about it. He had a huge crowd of journalists surrounding him. Have you ever even heard of this guy before this tournament, right? But what do you know? He's in the media room with about 15 microphones in his face. So special moment for him. Playing Tsitsipas, that's going to be a tough ass. I don't know if it'll be a close match, but I just want to keep watching Tsitsipas just to see if he keeps that intensity, because he was brilliant in the first round. Well, Dimitrov Cilic is kind of a old school matchup. Generation Lost.
I was going to say the Generation Lost boys.
But I don't know if we could really lump Cilic in there too much, given that he's won a slam and he's got a Wimbledon.
But he's the only one of the Lost boys who got that far.
Yeah, credit to him.
And then of course we've got Joe Conter against Lauren Davis. So you and I will be pitted together. But yeah, I think this is winnable for Jo. Lauren's worked really hard to get her place in the reciprocal in the wildcard challenge draw. She's worked really hard to bring herself back up from well outside the top 250. She's now bobbling around just outside the top 100. She's worked incredibly hard, having taken off the whole clay court season, citing fatigue. So she's going to be motivated. She's going to be scampering around the court like a good one. But I think this is winnable for Jo. I think we could be headed for a Kiki Bertens Joe Conter standoff.
That would be excellent. And I think Konta is on a roll right now, and I think when she gets her confidence, when she plays the way she knows she can, I think she's going to be in good shape and move forward. And I think she'll probably take this forward to the grass, which is even better news for fans.
Absolutely. Well, they're applauding us, so I think they want us to go. But
what could that be? That's got to be the end of the Mannarino match. Let's take a look here.
With that much kind of cheering.
What happened? We'll bring it to you live. It's no longer live, is what we're finding out. Scrolling, and it's Mannarino winning 6-2 over Stefano Travaglia in 5 sets on Simone 2. And meanwhile, Monfils has also taken out Taro Daniel 6-love, 6-4, 6-1.
That's a great way to close out. We've actually closed out at the end of round 1.
Well, maybe we can wrap it up then.
I think we can. So join us tomorrow where we start to go through the round 2 action. We're fast approaching the business end where we were supposed to get just the third round and the seeds all together. So I'll do a little bit of digging as to our scattered seeds. There's quite a few. that have gone by the wayside. I still think that this is wide open for both, personally. But we will be back tomorrow with our pick of all the round 2 action. But until then, sleep tight, don't have nightmares. Au revoir.
Bye bye.